Signs of abusive relationship.
Ultimatums. With ultimatums, the abuser is trying to get what they want by force without laying hands on their victim. With an ultimatum, the abuser might hold something over their victim's head, perhaps a child or even their home, in an attempt to gain absolute control over the situation. The abuser might say something like, "If you go out with your friends, I'll take away your credit cards," or "If you leave me, I'll kill myself."
Isolation, and I probably had about 2 friends while I was in a relationship, and I never even saw them because one, he wanted to spend every day of his life with me, which I mean I didn't really mind, but I wanted some time with my friends, but I could never get that because 2, every time I went and hung out with my friends, he found something, literally just something to get mad at me about, so that he would have to be texting me the entire time, which leads me to my next point, that they are constantly calling or texting you. When I went out of town to Europe this last summer, I'm not exaggerating, like my friend is in the corner and she went to Europe with me.
Is neglect. We all know these people. They give us the cold shoulder. They stonewall us. They give us the silent treatment when we've done something bad, or we might not even know what we've done wrong. And that is most often the case when it's emotional abuse. And I find this to be most common in parent-child relationships, where the parent will ice out the kid. They will not meet their needs, basic needs. They'll stay in a locked bedroom in the back. They won't come out. They will withhold affection or attention. Or sometimes I've even had parents say they're going to show up for like a kid's play or something, and they don't because they've done something wrong. And so this is how they manage it. And know that this is not a normal type of punishment. This isn't an okay way to treat a child. This isn't a way to parent. This is emotional abuse.
Mind games are a really common tool of people who are emotionally abusive. Basically, what they will do is try to make you deny your own reality. So, for example, they might say something, and then when you confront them about what they said, whether it was cruel or harsh or untrue, they'll deny ever saying it in the first place. And this has the effect of keeping you entirely off balance and really doubting your own reality and your own perception.
They typically will be very sarcastic with an underlining compliment, like, "Gosh, stop taking things so seriously, I was just kidding." You know, they'll be very sarcastic in the realms of where they're putting you down and giving you an underhanded compliment. I'll give you a general example. You could be wearing a black shirt, and they say, "Well, I thought red was your favorite color. You would look so much better in the red." And then you're like, why would you even say something like that, right? This is a very little thing, because they do get deeper than this. And then you're like, why did you say something like that? "Oh, I was just joking, blah, blah, blah. Like, why are you being so serious?" And where they put it back on you. This is a very big trait that happens in emotional abusive relationships, because it also leaves the other person feeling confused.
Irrational jealousy. You begin to recognize that your partner doesn't like the idea of sharing you with anyone, even in the most innocent situations. You notice that he becomes angry and starts to show emotional signs of jealousy anytime you talk to a person of the opposite sex, or when someone shows up on your Facebook or Instagram page. But this is not jealousy driven by care. This is jealousy driven by control. And an emotional abuser will make you feel guilty or even shameful for simple, innocent interactions with others. And as their jealousy begins to worsen, they start to suspect or accuse you of cheating. And as a result, you work harder to try to appease their fears by spending less time out with friends and by cutting off communication with anyone who could be considered romantically interested. And when you confront him about his jealousy, he acts like he's the victim, claiming that he was cheated on in the past or that he had been abandoned by a parent or a prior relationship. In reality, he's just attempting to hide his jealousy. And what are the results of his jealousy? Well, to avoid confrontations, you become increasingly isolated from support systems like friends and family, and you become more and more dependent on him. So as we move forward to the next sign, we begin to see more and more of the recognized signs of emotional abuse. Observing any of these signs once doesn't mean you should run for the hills. But if you're seeing multiple warning signs or a progressive pattern develop, you should be concerned. Be wise, get informed, and protect yourself. If something doesn't sound or feel right, do what's best for you and keep yourself safe.